Hi, this is Regina Y. Favors coming to you with a rebound relationship series titled Understanding Relationship Failure 10 Reasons. This is going to be a collective lecture, and it is divided into multiple videos. So, you will need to listen to the first part, the second, the third, and so on. So, understanding relationship failure is important because if you don't take the time to self assess what went wrong with the relationship, you are doomed to repeat the same types of mistakes. Understanding relationship failure also points to the fact that most relationships fail oftentimes with our contribution, but it could also be that you just really chose the wrong person, or the person was just not ready to be in relationship, or the person could have chosen you as maybe a fallback plan until they were able to marry someone else. So I want you to take some time to listen to the full series. If you have any questions, please leave a comment and I will respond. Also, take some time to hit the subscription button and then hit the notification bell if you are interested in further videos. Thank you for visiting the channel. So this lecture is subject to fair use. So I will be commenting, criticizing, teaching, and pursuing scholarship using this lecture. So reason number 6, not the marrying kind, part 2, infidelity as a created product. When considering marriage, the partner who proposes that infidelity is a necessary component for the marriage expects to receive acceptance from the responder. The marriage partner can reject, but there is also the expectation that he or she will not receive anything. Infidelity is a created product, tradable, exchangeable, mobile, dynamic, inventoried, and stored. The first act of infidelity is a proposal in the marriage between the husband and wife or two same-sex partners. The third party, the infidelity partner, has no claim to the marriage, but does have claim to the infidelity. Both parties form a partnership, albeit false, without a marriage. So when you think about infidelity as a commodity, as a created product, you can easily think about that website, Ashley Madison. And we're going to get into it sort of briefly in this audio. But, basically they are saying have an affair. So they have commercialized having an affair, that you can hook up with someone, find someone, have sex with them, and they get a fee off of it. I don't know if you can call that sexual trafficking, but it is legal business. I'm quite sure it's pimping, but we don't have enough time to get into that. But when considering marriage, the partner who proposes that infidelity is a necessary component. So remember when I said that cheating is means to exit a relationship, but it is also a counter argument. So you have the initial core marriage between two partners, male and female, or same-sex partners. Somewhere along the line, the person decides to bring in a third partner. Now, they didn't decide that after marriage. They believed it at the beginning, way before marriage. They didn't all of a sudden adopt the belief system that they're going to want a three-way. They wanted a three-way while they were dating. They just didn't know how to put aside sort of old strategies for now wanting to be married. But that lets you know that they are not the marrying kind if they consider the infidelity, the third partner, as a necessary component for marriage. That's why you have all these different open marriages. I honestly don't understand how a person would ever be okay with knowing their partner is stepping out on the weekends or on a date or something like that and having sex with someone else. I don't understand how your mind could ever take something like that. Even in I often watch Seeking Sister Wife or the Sister Wives, and here it is, this one male for every 4 females, and he has about 35 to 40 kids, between those 4 females. Well, he's not taking care of all those kids. The show is paying them $25,000 to $40,000 an episode, and that's how, and it's probably per individual, but he's not particularly taking care of those kids. If anything, if you hear him talk on the show, he says the kids that he has with each of those women are their kids. And so he's basically a father figure, not necessarily a father. He has no true relationship with any one of them, probably other than the ones who are very small. So when there is a proposal of infidelity, and we talked about this in the previous audio about ultimatums being a proposed idea, a counter argument, and that oftentimes men think ultimatums are unfair and basically hold them in contempt. And even if you give them an ultimatum and they respond, they can still decide to exit the relationship in multiple ways. They can still keep you as a marital partner, but still decide to keep a side chick, keep a side dude, keep a mistress, house her, fund her lifestyle, right? So infidelity is a created product, tradable, exchangeable, mobile, dynamic, inventoried, and stored. The partnership between the marital partner and the infidelity partner outweighs the role of the standard marital partner, which might be in case law considered an injured spouse if the marriage dissolved as a result of infidelity. It is obviously a 2/3 partnership against a 1/3 partner. So yes, legally, the marital partner has rights under the law. If it's if it's a community property state, there's a splitting of the assets. So the marriage partner, say, female in this sense, has every right to the marriage. But the thing is, once that other partner, male in this regard, decides to exit or decides to take on a mistress, it's like 2 of them are against the marital partner. And I always wondered why don't you just go on ahead and divorce the person? Well, there may be more benefits of marriage than not. But I would just think to myself, if you want to be with the other person, just be with the other person. It's the strangest thing. Laws dictate rights and privileges to a spouse. But what if an affair results in the married partner living with both the spouse and the infidelity partner? If the spouse lived with the infidelity partner as common law and also lived with the married partner, and then the spouse died and had a will giving his assets to the infidelity partner, then could the spouse fight it in court? Most likely. So we talk a little bit about rights and claims earlier in the audio series, and you probably want to go back to those first 3 audios to get some more information about that in terms of the laws. Case example. So this is a case example where the wife is the breadwinner and cheater. John and Jane are married. John is out of work. Jane is the primary breadwinner. John maintains the home, cooks, and watches the kids. He continues to apply for jobs, but there is a recession. He is unable to use his college degree to get a job. Jane is Frustrated, tired, and angry, she doesn't address her issues with John. Instead, she has an affair with a colleague at her place of work. She creates an infidelity. John discovers the affair. He gets angry. He confronts Jane. She proposes to continue the infidelity. She feels that it is something for her, considering that she's the breadwinner. John accepts the infidelity because he doesn't have a job and he has nowhere else to go. Jane lives with the infidelity partner and with John. If he pursues a divorce, he could get alimony, but he would have shared custody. The home is broken. The marriage is failed. Jane gets sick. She has disability insurance. John stays to help her. The infidelity partner has left. When Jane dies, the infidelity partner sues for rights to Jane's life insurance. Jane put him as a beneficiary on the insurance policy. Is it possible for John, as an injured spouse, to sue the person his wife was having an affair for destroying their marriage? It is possible by state. However, Jane died. Where is the destruction of marriage? The infidelity is the destruction to the marriage, and it contributed to Jane supporting the affair over the marriage. There are states that allow an injured spouse to sue a home wrecker. So Hawaii, New Mexico, North Carolina, Mississippi, South Dakota, and Utah. If you live in one of these states, I would take some time to review the state law. Just type in injured spouse, the plus sign, and then your state. So under criminal conversation or alienation of affection, an injured spouse could request punitive damages, which is a monetary fine that punishes bad actors for their bad actions. The injured spouse can ask the judge to order that the defendant, the third party who destroyed the marriage, pay money damages based on loss of consortium, which is marital affection and fellowship, mental anguish, humiliation, injury to health, and or the loss of support. Because if you think about it, when they are funding that affair, they are taking money outside of the house. And John is unduly harmed when he's watching the kids. He doesn't have a job. She's the breadwinner, and it's not so easy for him to leave because she has to go to work every day. So there is undue injury. Criminal conversation is not reflective of a criminal case. Instead, it is a civil case brought in a civil court. The burden is on the plaintiff, the injured spouse, to show proof that the spouse engaged in sexual relations with the third-party defendant. The injured spouse must show evidence of adultery. To be successful, the plaintiff has to show proof that the infidelity occurred during the marriage. The adulterous act happened within the statute of limitations, and the marriage was still in effect. Well, we have a current situation that's going on right now. You know, it's May 16 right now. And Wendy Williams and Kevin Hunter and his mistress, you know, he took money outside of the home. He funded his mistress, you know, gave her money, gave her cars, bought her, I think, like a $750,000 home, right? And Wendy Williams sort of, I think, waited until there was evidence of adultery, even though there were, you know, pictures, right? But now that she has had a baby, now that the mistress has had a baby, and, you know, provided that baby is Kevin's baby, then there's the proof of adultery. That is the proof of infidelity, and it will make her case easier to divorce him without having to pay a lot of money. So in this case, then, Wendy Williams is the injured spouse. With alienation of affection, proof of extramarital sex is not needed. The claim is about the actions of a third party and how they affected the marriage. So the third party in the case of the Wendy Williams would be the mistress, right? Although this usually involves a mistress or lover, alienation of affection claims can be brought against anyone thought to be responsible for the breakup, including counselors and therapists, clergy members, family members, such as a mother-in-law who advised her son or daughter to end the marriage. And you know we have tons of mother-in-laws who do that. To prove alienation, the marriage must be a loving marriage. Love and affection was alienated. The third person caused alienation through wrongful and malicious behavior, and the innocent spouse was damaged in some way. So if you can show a record proof that, say, a family member like a mother-in-law sent pictures or something, or there's a record of her coming to the house and creating problems, and then you having to call the police as a result, anything like that you create a record for. So here is a notable case. North Carolina has prosecuted alienation of affection cases. So a jury awarded an injured spouse $9 million from the cheating husband's mistress. The jury found that the other woman ruined the marriage. So this information is available on the web. Just, type that title you see on the slide and you can get more information. So for North Carolina, a husband sued his wife's lover and AshleyMadison.com. He claimed that the site's motto, "Life is short, have an affair," wrecked his 13-year marriage by introducing his wife to her lover, whom she later married. And the title is there. In the jilted husband case, Robert Schindler's wife, Teresa Moore, met another married man, Montemayor, 58, who is a professor of civil engineering. They met on Ashley Madison in 2007 and began having an affair. Both Teresa and Montemayor divorced their spouses and soon married. Robert filed a lawsuit against Montemayor, Ashley Madison, and the parent company, alleging that they came between he and his wife, but he didn't sue his wife. Ashley Madison may have liability of the previous case. It's kind of interesting that he didn't sue his wife. I wonder if she just didn't have the income, but she was a participant. He should have sued her, because then he could have in suing her along with the other parties, that would have established a record as well and made her complicit on record. So maybe he loved her. He didn't want her to, be embarrassed, but the suit itself is enough. What we can take from this case is that Teresa and Montemayor are not the marrying kind. Sure, they married each other, but they were not the marrying kind for their respective spouses, whom they both divorced. If they were committed to establishing and sustaining an affair, then their current marital relationships, but before they divorced, their partners never satisfied them. Those marital relationships were not intentional, they were convenient. So again, if you find yourself leaving a relationship so quickly like that, that tells you something that on some level you may not be the marrying kind. I mean, you have to think sometimes, and I don't really want to criticize, because we make so many hasty decisions. But you hear people who have been married 4, 5, 6 times, and you have to wonder, were they the marrying kind, or were they just needing someone in that moment to solve a pain, to solve an issue? Because I don't know if it takes you 6 times. Now, you got people who have been married 3 times. Maybe they married when they were younger, before they truly understood anything, and then they married again because it's, you know, kind of what you do. It's almost like you wanting to resolve this issue that you had previously. But the third time is the time that you should really pay attention to what they believe. Are they really willing to work it out? Because, you know, it could not work as well. You know, you can be married 10 years in your third marriage and it still not work. But you have to also think to yourself and reflect, why isn't it working? Are you still operating on some sort of childlike fantasy of what you think marriage should be? So you have to check yourself to see if you are the marrying kind. You know, I think about myself, and I think about myself a lot, and I say to myself, I'm really a loner. I wanted the last relationship to work, but I also enjoyed being single. I wasn't necessarily a person who just pursued relationships. You know, I ran across somebody, he asked me out on a date, we went out on a date, and somehow we ended up together. This last situation, as I mentioned in a previous audio, I actually, you know, sort of pursued this relationship by walking up to him. And I've never done that in any of my past relationships. And what I thought it was a new situation, but what I realized when I talk about him a lot, he was an amalgam of other types of issues I have had in other types of relationships. And that when I walked up to him and pulled at him, I was basically pulling at dead things that don't work anymore. That sometimes when you are going forward, you have the habit of looking back. And he was the type of person who reflects many types of people I have dealt with in my past, that it's deadness there, and I was going back and touching, you know, dead things. And I understand that now, and I understand what that looks like now, and so I won't do that. I won't do that again. So infidelity, or the need to pursue it, is likely one of those reasons why a person decided to marry someone else. So it's something on the inside of them that needs to cheat. And so even if they marry someone else, it's still something on the inside of them that they just have to do it. And so there's nothing that you can do. Like in a previous audio about ultimatums, there's no ultimatum you can give that person if they feel like they have to do it. Like it's a necessary component of their life. That's why I say there's a difference between struggling with something and then adopting something as an actual lifestyle. All right, so hopefully you were able to gain insight from this video discussion. Please like, subscribe, and visit. So please like the video, hit the notification bell for more discussions. I am re-uploading all of my audios, so I needed to make some changes to them. You can visit my website for more content at reginayfavors.com. If you want to send me an email, you can send an email, reginayfavors@yahoo.com. Please also purchase the book. It's going to come out in spring 2021. So I had to make changes to my book to update it, and I also updated the title. So the original title was Bait, Hook, and Switch: Confessions of a Rebound Girl, and I have updated the title to Toxic Encounters: Why People Pursue Rebound Relationships. So right now I'm still basically editing it, and I want to make it available in spring 2021. So thank you very much for visiting my channel, and I am Regina Y. Favors. Have a great day.